Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I am Alani from group code 05 FP2. So today, our group will be presenting about augmented reality AR and virtual reality VR. Before we jump into the next slide, allow me to introduce my other teammates. Mimi, who will be presenting the examples of AR and VR, and Safia, who will be presenting about the pros and cons of AR and VR. So, first and foremost, these two technologies are considered as the real game changers of the 21st century. At first, they were mostly seen in science fiction movies and gaming, but now they are used in healthcare, education, and manufacturing. As you guys can see, here's the list of contents that we will be present today. Alright, let's move on to the first content, which is the definition of AR and VR. So basically, what do you guys understand about AR and VR? So AR is actually an addition of digital things such as pictures, videos, or 3D objects on top of the real world. It is typically experienced through smartphones, tablets, or AR glasses. On the other hand, VR will put you inside the digital world which separate from the real one. VR is also experienced through a HMD that tracks the user's head and hand movements, allowing them to look around and interact with the virtual environment as if they were present. Moving on to the next slides, these are an obvious differences between AR and VR. As I mentioned just now, AR is an addition of digital things to the real world. In contrast, VR is just replace the real world completely, meaning that you are completely in different dimension. Resultantly, the interaction between the user and AR is just a mix of reality and virtual objects. But for the VR, users just able to interact inside the virtual world.
Here are a few examples on augmented reality and virtual reality. So one of the few examples of augmented reality is the merge cube. It is a cube in which students can see a virtual representation of 3D objects through the screen of the device. So the merge cube works by synchronizing the cube with an app by scanning it. So by rotating the merge cube in any angle, we can foster a deeper understanding through active learning. This allows students to explore complex subjects such as the Earth geology and solar systems. Another example includes the X-Vision. It is an AR headset system developed by Augmented. It is mainly used in practice for spinal surgery in medical schools. So this allows students to visualize and interact with anatomy of the 3D model. This can result in higher accuracy during their surgery, which helps them a lot. On the other hand, for VR, it is mainly used in high-risk job training. For example, firefighters use VR simulators to train for emergency situations such as buildings on fire and hazards. So practicing in real-life conditions proves to be costly and dangerous. So VR provides a controlled environment where they can test their decision-making skills under pressure. Similarly, aviation industries also use VR flight simulators to train pilots. These simulators mimic real cockpit controls, weather controls, and emergency scenarios, ensuring them to learn and improve without any real-world risks.
So there are actually a lot of benefits of VR out there, but I like to focus on this main point here, which is the first one would be providing an immersive experience to user. VR has been helpful in making users feel like they are actually inside the environment itself, and this point here is actually connected to the second point, which is for the education and training purposes. So VR have been helpful for students and also professionals to practice in a safe and controlled environment. For example, such as medical students, they could use VR to perform a virtual surgeries, and for pilots, they could use VR to train in a flight simulators. Other than that, VR is also have become a huge part in entertainment and gaming section, which they provide a realistic and interactive environment to gamers. So that is the reason why VR is famous nowadays, and that is also the reason why it is a very highly interactive and engaging for gamers. So although VR is a very innovative technology and has a lot of advantages to it, it also has several drawbacks. So now we're going to talk about the drawbacks of virtual reality. So the first one would be the data privacy concerns. VR devices often collect personal data such as body movement, gestures, and even biometric data. This has been raising a lot of questions in users about how the data is stored and who has access to the data itself. And the second one, VR can cause health issues. So for example, by spending a lot of time in virtual environment, it may lead to eye strain, headaches, and even nausea to some users, and this has become a prevention to users to spend their time in virtual environment for long periods. And the last one is VR can cause addiction and overuse. Because the reason why I say this is because some users may spend too much time or excessive time in VR or virtual environment, and this will actually reduce the real world interaction between them and the real life, and also can cause social isolation to users itself. Okay, so enough talking about virtual reality. So now we're going to talk about augmented reality. So firstly, we're going to talk about the benefits of AR. So the first one is AR can actually help in increasing the engagement. So unlike passive screen users, AR keep users active and interactive by making learning or working more exciting because it involves digital content. And other than that, AR is also highly accessible because AR doesn't always require a complicated or expensive equipment for it, because nowadays many AR can run on smartphones, tablets, and even a high-end headsets. This makes it more easier for a lot of people to experience the AR innovations itself. And other than that, AR is great because it blends real and virtual life together, because unlike VR that replacing the real world, AR enhances it by adding a fun and helpful digital elements to what we already see around us. Okay, so when there is benefits, there will always be drawbacks. So now we're going to talk about the drawbacks of augmented reality. So the first one is the privacy concerns. Many AR apps often track location, use camera, and even monitor users' behavior, which can raise the issues about how the data is handled among the users. And other than that, AR apps often faces technical limitations because most of it depends on a good lighting, a stable internet connection, and a highly performance devices. So without all of these, the AR experience may not working properly. And lastly, AR can cause distraction and safety risk among the users because some users may to focus too much on the digital overlay, they might actually lose the awareness of their surroundings, and this can lead to accidents to users. So in conclusion, both augmented reality and virtual reality are powerful technologies that are currently shaping the future of how we work, learn, and even interact. Both of these are not perfect, but if we use it correctly and wisely, it could serve a lot of benefits, and it could have the potential to greatly improve our daily lives and shape the future. Thank you.